WatchGP Podcast. We have Joseph with us, our fan favorite. And today we have a very special guest, Muneeb Jamil, who is the Managing Director of Chinese brands at Alghanim Automotive in Kuwait.
Hi everyone, how are you?
Good.
Good to see you, Joseph. Long time.
Thank you for joining us today. We're very excited to have you.
Yeah, thank you for actually having me here. I appreciate that.
Of course, anytime.
Yeah.
So today we are going to be discussing a few things. Obviously, motorsports and Formula One, but we're actually going to be segueing into how the Chinese cars have been changing the world and also changing somewhat motorsports in the future. So before we start, I would like to ask you, if F1 teams were Chinese brands, who would be who?
Wow, okay. I mean, spot on. I think there's the fast evolution which is going on. So who would be who? Ferrari, I would be analogizing it or making it similar to Honchi.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Simply is because Ferrari has its own heritage, right? And when you talk about Honchi, it has a heritage, right? Car of the president. Honchi actually means red line, and which is symbolic to the China flag, right? So it has its own heritage, right? So if Honchi was to win Formula One, I would be thinking about Ferrari, right? That's number
one. It's the
one.
Ferrari.
Makes sense.
Yeah. What else? In terms of technology and agility and speed, I think Red Bull, I can think about Xlantex, yeah. It is an EV brand with the speed with which they are coming up with new brands, new technology, AI adoption in their cockpits and the infotainment system, the lightweight body structure. So that is becoming to me a symbol of speed. Yeah.
We need to try this car.
Oh yeah.
We should do a podcast inside the car.
Inside the car, that can come very soon. Yeah. What else?
Mercedes.
Mercedes can be similar to Exeed. Right, because it's a premium brand, premium car, and Exeed has developed a niche for itself for a premium positioning, right? So if I think about Mercedes, then if Formula One was to have a Mercedes equivalent, that would be Exeed. Yeah,
that's definitely. Yeah. I would see that. I would see that honestly.
Yeah.
But I actually have a question for you, and Joseph, we were just speaking about this earlier. About how Chinese cars have kind of been taking over in the region. What do you
Talk
think?
of the town.
If we look back 10 years ago, people weren't encouraged as much.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But now we see it more often. More people are open about it, they don't mind. Versus before where everyone said what Chinese cars, it's all that. So what's your take on that? You know?
So look, I think a data-driven discussion builds credibility, right? Right now in Kuwait market, if you talk about just Kuwait market, 1 in every 4th car sold in Kuwait is actually a Chinese car. So they have a 25% market share, right? So that is the kind of trust which people have developed with the Chinese cars, right? I actually break it down into 2 parts for better understanding or simpler understanding is that whatever perception or image you have about the Chinese cars before COVID, forget about it.
Okay.
Because they have just completely transformed themselves after COVID. I mean, it's an oversimplistic assumption, but that is fact-based as well, right? If you look after COVID, and you name any brand, Chery, they started in 1997, any car which model, shapes, design, technology, breakdowns, etc., whatever you can think of before COVID does not exist now, right? Talk about Honchi as well. It wasn't even a public model at that time. Name anything. So the technology, the designing, the features of the cars have completely transformed, and they have built that credibility and trust with the customers, which has happened.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And
Good. Yeah.
Your second part. You said you split it into 2.
Yeah, so after COVID, look what has happened. They have acted really fast. I mean, I think hats off to the Chinese, they are really agile, right? And historically, when you used to think of a car's life cycle, it used to be 7 years, 8 years. Then with American cars, became 6 years, 5 years. But with the Chinese, with the speed with which they respond, it's just incredible. So that they have really adapted their product offering to what consumers are asking. Right, so it's much simplistic to offer what each market has its own requirement, right? Even within GCC, the product specs which sometimes come for UAE are a bit customized to what comes to Kuwait or Saudi. Right? That's how much flexibility they are showing, right? So that's a great product offering they have. Right?
That's actually very interesting.
Yeah,
I think not very many companies or even brands would think to customize. They'd customize per region, you know what I mean? But not as specified as knowing their audience in each country.
Oh yeah. They are just like Formula One. They are very much data driven, so that drives precision, right? And one thing which I have learned, I've worked in American brands before. With Chinese, why they are ahead of the curve is they look, listen, learn, right? The 3 L's, right? Okay. So, I mean, they really listen to the voice of the customer. They gather the feedback, and in lightning speed, they incorporate that feedback in the product. I mean, they are so much fans of surveys and getting data, which is now shown in the car. So, I mean, look at the scale. Chinese produce 30 million cars per annum, right? That's how much they are producing.
Wow.
30 million, right? They have a huge share in the world. They are now the number one exporter in the world, etc. So they are growing pretty fast at a lightning speed. So now imagine a simplistic production line where you ask for any flexibility. In your old days, it's impossible, right? But with the degree of automation they have achieved, now their product gets adapted within 6 months' time.
Wow.
I mean, this is incredible. I mean, for an automotive industry where you have fixed production schedule and any R&D, to bring that into production takes so much time. I mean, I'm seeing it for Chery, Exeed, Honji, you name any brand. We get facelifted models, new generation models, mid-cycle improvement models within 6 to 1 year. I mean, that makes our life very difficult. Yeah. That makes our life a bit difficult because you have to really be flexible in ordering the parts. That becomes a bit difficult to manage, but still, for our customers, that's delight, right? Because they're getting new shape cars, new technology in such a great speed, right? Yeah.
You know, as a customer, it's not my business to how you're going to change my parts. I am enjoying the end result.
Absolutely.
And now we live in a time of speed, you know, whoever is faster wins.
I mean, that's the name of the game, exactly.
I think that was a struggle for what I've seen previously with what the perception of Chinese cars was. You spare parts and whatever and this and that. And I had seen that previously with people I knew that had Chinese cars. There are very few, let's say, brands that were reliable, that they change your parts if something were to happen. Now you're seeing it become like, oh, everyone has their parts available and we're going to finish it quickly. And the service you get out of it, as someone, you know, we have a Chinese car and we'll give you a replacement car until we fix your car, but we'll fix your car as soon as possible. Which we don't see anymore.
And yes, I mean, what's interesting with this is, as I said, they have really done a great job in building trust with the customers, right? And one of that hallmark of that is that they have really quickly moved all of their parts storage facilities to Middle East, either in Saudi or Dubai or Abu Dhabi, right? Which makes the parts availability, I mean, in less than 3 days, right? That's our promise. The parts availability, we are promising now 98 to 99% parts availability, which is incredible. So what you were talking about breakdown, if you had the old perception about the Chinese cars, there's a breakdown, then you're stuck with the car. I mean, it will take ages to get the part coming from China. This is no longer the case. I mean, not just for any brand, for all of the Chinese brands right now which are in market, they do have a regional hub in Dubai. So if customers have any perception or negativity or any fears about the product, and honestly, they can just move beyond that because Chinese have moved beyond that as well.
And you feel like, do you feel like the perception has changed, let's say in the past 5 years?
Absolutely. I think the market share speaks for itself. I mean, before COVID, in the Chinese market share in Kuwait was not even 1%. Right?
Yeah.
And now they're dominating 25% market share, right?
Wow.
And the boom, which, for example, even Dubai has seen last year, is just incredible. It was a bit delayed acceptance in Dubai and in Abu Dhabi and UAE, but last year was incredible, right? Qatar and Saudi Arabia, they have already rolled up their sleeves and customers are accepting it, right? So customer perception has greatly transformed. That has happened. Market share speaks for itself. As I said, 1 in every 4th car sold and bought by customers in the Middle East is actually a Chinese car, right? Yeah.
That's very impressive in the 5 years that, you know, pre-COVID and now. Extremely impressive.
Yeah, it is. In your opinion, and your expertise, and you have all the data. Do you think younger people are more, favoring these cars, or is it the older generation?
Oh, brilliant! I tell you, it cannot be more appropriate. The Chinese cars cannot be more suitable to younger than the older audience right now, because what's happening, let's say, with millennials and Gen Zs, right? Their brand affinity or their loyalty to brands is reducing. They are really more concerned with the value proposition, right? So that those legacy brands, they are no longer really concerned with that. If I can tell you dozens, no exaggeration, dozens of stories where customers actually thank us in the showroom that you have saved us 20,000, 30,000 dinars. Rather than me buying a German luxury car, I am getting all the bells and whistles for 1/3 or 1/4 the price which the car has. So again, as I was saying, the legacy association with that brand has enormously reduced. Gen Zs and millennials want value for money. I mean, you can name any Chinese car. The specs on the car are incredible. I mean, I sometimes joke around with people that to call a Chinese model an entry-level car is actually is actually a shame, because the basic trim or the model comes with everything.
Has more than
more specs than a fully loaded an American or a German model, right? So
that's true.
Yeah.
Especially with the generations you spoke about, like Gen Z and millennials, especially with the market being tough, they don't have this luxury anymore, to go and afford these legacy cars.
Yes.
So they want the same feeling or the same options
and the look
more.
And the designs, absolutely, the designs are incredible.
Someone in our family actually sold his Defender and got his G-Tour.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, so look, this G-Tour, I actually call it a phenomena. This car has become a phenomena, honestly. Yeah, and if you look at all the Chinese, that has opened the gateways for off-road experience. I mean, how fast all of these Chinese are coming with off-road models is incredible. I mean, even Hongqi, we just showcased in China Motor Show in Shanghai. There is going to be an off-road model. You would know Haval as well. Haval and Geely, all of them are coming up with incredible off-road models. So this, as you're rightly saying, so J2, T2 is a phenomenon.
When the Hongqi brings the off-road model.
It's gonna...
We would like to try it.
If you look at the horsepower, the price positioning is just incredible, right? I mean, with these hybrid models, it's just mind-blowing when you hear that horsepowers are now crossing 1,000. I mean, that is actually a Formula One experience, right? So these F1 cars give you a horsepower of 1,000. Tesla S, right? It crosses 1,000, right?
Yes.
But now in BYD Yangwangs and Denzas and even in Xlantics, etc., you're talking really a horsepower of 600, 700, a torque of 1,000 Newton meter. I mean, that is as good as a Formula One experience. The only thing you are not having is actually a helmet on when you're driving those cars, right?
And the threat of death,
Of course.
But I think this is the most interesting thing, is how Chinese cars are really bringing in technology.
Yes.
They're bringing in the hybrid models. It's becoming a lot more acceptable, because we were just speaking about this.
Yes, absolutely.
Hybrid models previously
is the way to go. I think I tell you, our take on this, specifically our organization, is that electric cars may take time, but hybrids are gonna come faster than we think.
Yes.
And from a customer acceptability point of view, it's not just about whether it's an EV or a charging infrastructure, whatever. It is just performance. I mean, my own take on this is that a customer who's so used to driving ICE, internal combustion cars, he just test drives a hybrid car. I don't think he's going to go back, because the experience, the performance experience of the car is just incredible.
Yeah, it's like the F1 cars, like F1 cars are hybrid cars.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. The torque you're getting in your city drive, there's no need to wait. There is no lag. It's actually a whisper-free, sound-free kind of an experience. So it's just incredible how this is evolving.
I'm definitely going to try it, as someone who hears the lag.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
I am excited to try that, honestly.
Absolutely. In your city, honestly, when you are breaking in signals, and this gets a bit frustrating, right? So these EVs and hybrids are just completely removing that botheration. Yeah.
That's actually extremely interesting. But in terms of let's say a brand like Exeed that you guys have in tech and design, how do you feel like they're at this point you're saying they're competing with the biggest brands, whether Japanese, Korean. Let's take out American and European, because I feel the world here actually really appreciates Japanese and Korean. And now I feel like you're saying the way that Exeed and the rest of the Chinese brands are going, they're fully competing.
Oh, they are. I mean, look, in the end, the essence or the beginning of this is from the R&D they are doing. I mean, many people do not know about it, that actually Exeed's R&D started in Germany. The car designs and the technology which was originated came from Germany, yeah, and then all this manufactured in China, but the R&D center they have in Germany, right? So that itself gives it a bit of a European feel, right? Mm-hmm. That's number one. I mean, then in terms of the quality of the product or the materials being used, it is genuine leather, for example, right? The heated massage cooling chairs which come with the car. I mean, can you imagine? It has wireless connectivity, a wireless Apple CarPlay. This is just so much convenience which these cars are bringing, which is just didn't used to be there on other Chinese cars, mm-hmm. and is competing with the other mainstream brands, right? Another few examples, right? I mean, data speaks for itself. You won't believe it, for our premium Chinese models, whether it's Hongqi or Exeed or Xlantix, the trade-ins, the customers who are trading in their cars, they are not actually mainstream models. We get customers who are actually trading in their Range Rovers or Mercedes and BMWs, etc. So that kind of customer class we are generating to switch towards Chinese cars.
This shows big trust.
Big trust, absolutely.
Very big
absolutely.
trust. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
But so this is actually, I'm considering now.
Yeah, me too.
Coming into the show.
I mean, yeah.
I actually like the Exeed cars.
Yes.
They give this feel, the one you said, because I'm a German car fan, I'm
absolutely.
BMW since we were kids. We're Lebanese, it runs in our blood.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's either you
Range Rover or BMW.
You choose one thing when you're a kid.
Exactly, yeah.
The biggest question is Mercedes or BMW? And then you fight for it your whole life. So you argue with everyone.
Exactly. I mean,
so Exeed gives that same feeling.
That feeling, I think
it's like a German car, like you said. That's why it doesn't feel, like I'm not surprised when you said like the R&D is in Germany.
Is in Germany. It does give you that feel, as you're rightly saying it. Look, I think in all of these Chinese cars, the key thing now is also the dealership experience, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, look at the plethora of brands we have. It's actually an epidemic of brands we are seeing in the market, right? Right now there are almost 30 Chinese brands in Kuwait market, right?
30?
Yeah, 30, yeah.
Wow.
Really? I didn't know.
and they're not stopping. There are more than 400 brands in China, right?
Okay.
Every day there's an EV brand popping up, right?
But are they like the most popular in China?
No, I mean...
Or the ones coming here are the best?
Coming which are here, actually they can be clustered into in terms of popularity, both in their home country and in Kuwait, right? So I would say there are 5 or 6 mainstream then coming up and questionable brands, right? Just like the Matrix, yeah. So I mean, in terms of this bombardment of brands, what is really helping the Chinese in Middle East is actually the dealership experience. The customers, for example, when they buy Chery, they really tell us that they're not buying Chery because of Chery. They are also buying Chery because of Alghanim. I mean, that really builds that trust in customers' mind because of the after sales experience, right? That fear still remains in customer mind, that is my car going to be serviced properly? How fast is the service going to be done? Are those parts available, right? So that trust has come with the transformation of the OEM directly from China, but which has been fast-tracked by the distribution experience they are giving in Kuwait or in the market, right?
That's actually excellent to hear, because I feel like as someone who buys cars and whatnot, what you said, it's my after sales that's big, but it's not just that, it's the follow through of, when I'm coming to buy that car, they make you feel like the most important person in the world.
Absolutely. Yes.
You buy the car, first couple of months, first service, second service, they're great. Once that warranty runs out...
Oh, yeah.
It's like they forget you.
Not even. You're shocked at, let's say, the markup of things. I think also the affordability of Chinese brands is big. Nowadays, the economy. It is not the economy that our parents grew up in. And that's what I feel like, genuinely. We've become, as you said, more price sensitive. But I want quality for my money.
Correct.
I'm not going to pay for a car that, later on I'm gonna get stuck with. You know, we were just speaking about this.
Absolutely.
I'm going to get stuck with a car that, you know, I'm not fulfilled with.
Correct.
And I feel like is a burden on me.
Oh, yeah. I think with the Chinese, the real term for me is actually the value proposition.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just incredible value proposition these Chinese cars are giving. So look, if you look at these checklist points in terms of price, affordable, in terms of specifications, as good as a luxury car, in terms of dealership experience, you're getting, so those exact same dealers who have those luxury brands are also having Chinese brands. So your dealership experience is not compromised. In terms of your residual value, if you want to trade in, etc., those dealers are giving you guarantees.
Mm-hmm.
Now the cars come with, I haven't seen any Chinese car being offered in Kuwait without 6 years or 7 years comprehensive warranty, without being given by service, roadside registration. So literally when you're buying the car, you're really covered for 5-6 years headache free. So that is an incredible value proposition which customers are opting for, right? Yeah.
Definitely.
Like you said also, you know, like I'm speaking as an owner of 2 Alghanim cars, you know, like so.
Good customer.
Yeah. You're gonna buy a third one.
And I'm a very picky person, you know, like sometimes maybe I'm not convinced with the product, but the after sales, like you said, convinces me that okay, maybe I made the right decision. And as an owner of 2 cars, I love to go do the service, you know, like the treatments when you go in, the way they speak to you. Even when they found something in the car, they said this is okay from the manufacturer. I didn't even know there was a problem with the car.
Oh yeah.
They called me, they're like, come, please bring the car, let's fix it.
Okay.
And it's 3 years old.
Absolutely.
So they're calling me after 3 years, telling me, oh, by the way, there's a problem in that model, bring it. I told them, we didn't face it. He's like, still bring it.
There is, yes.
You know, so that experience makes you want to stay. And then, you know, like you guys have Chery, you have all these cars. So I might be like, okay, I'm sticking to Alghanim. I'll try Chinese.
Exactly.
Because I trust them.
I think the customer experience which we provide in our dealership is sticky. I mean, so customers like to stick around with what the experience we are giving. I mean, as I said, there are so many anecdotes I can tell you where customers have mentioned that I bought this car because of Alghanim experience. We have the largest garage in facility in the world for one of our brands, right? So that trust factor is there with the customers, and we try to live up to it, right? It's just from the point where the customer walks into the showroom to the point he actually decides to trade in his car, right? So those 18 touch points from buying the car to coming to service again and again, we're trying to make sure that our customer experience is up to the mark, right? I mean, sometimes our salesmen think, really, it's just incredible. Sometimes salesmen say, Muneeb, this is a Chinese car. Why should we be giving this luxury experience? I said, customer is a customer. If you compromise on customer quality, trust me, they have 30 more brands, 150 more car lines to choose from in Kuwait. So you're going to lose them immediately, right?
Yeah, it's easy now, especially nowadays, you know, like there's social media, internet, you know, he can simply say, okay, Chery were not nice to me. I want something similar to Chery.
Exactly.
He'll go to your competitor and he'll go tell them, by the way, I was in Chery and they treated me this way.
Oh, correct. Absolutely.
They're going to make him the king.
Oh,
they might give him discount also. Okay, just take the car.
Oh, I'm telling you, people are looking for an excuse to complain right now. So I mean, we have to be spec free, spot free, mint condition experience we have to give, and which is a difficult task if you look at the viability of this business model as well, right? Because right now there's a complete price war going on in amongst the Chinese, right? They are really swords out, daggers drawn, killing each other, but it's the survival of the fittest. So there's no room for error.
Exactly.
Right. So again, dealership experience, our customer service, and how we treat the customer is really making the difference, because the bells and whistles on the car is almost the same, but the drivability experience of the cars are a bit different. Yeah.
Especially, you know, like especially like when, like for example, me and Noor were skeptical about these cars. Now we're not. So even when we're going to the showroom, we're gonna be you know, tiptoeing. So that first impression or that first service will be everything. I agree with what you said. Like, there's no room for error. If I go there and something happens, you know, like anything, I'll be like, okay, I made, Like I made the wrong decision. Let me leave.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I always think of this as like your F1 pit stop, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the 3 seconds, the moment it becomes 4 seconds, you have destroyed the race.
You
Yes.
ruined it. Even the driver doesn't know how to drive anymore. You know, he's
Yes.
stressed. He's stressed out.
Absolutely. I mean, so the moment that pit stop for a customer becomes from 40 minutes to 1 hour, you're really destroying the experience, right? Yeah.
Of course,
That's
of
how-
course.
that's how we
And
see it,
actually, speaking of Formula One,
Yeah.
we were discussing this earlier, the tech in the cars.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously, as you said, the Chinese cars have become extremely data driven,
Yeah.
which is amazing
Yeah.
because now they're listening to what people want. But you see any of this tech from like Formula E or Formula One trickling down, and they're seeing what people are looking for from that level of motorsport into the car?
Oh, yes. I think the speed with which these Chinese cars are incorporating that technology into their vehicles is incredible. Like, look, in Formula One, honestly, I see this as 3 or 4 data points. One is precision, data analytics, and technology, right?
Yes.
So all of this is now coming into at least the EVs and the hybrids. That is there. So if you talk about AI generated voice command system, right, which are there in the cars, right? All of our, for example, cars, they come with voice command system, an intelligent voice command system, right? That's there on the cars, right?
That's amazing. So
Yeah.
it adapts to you, to
Yeah,
your voice.
and then next time when you're talking to it, it actually knows that what's going to be the command, right? It
Oh.
listens faster.
Okay.
I mean, if you
where do we sign?
I honestly think you guys need to bring one to
Yeah.
WatchGP, one of your cars.
Absolutely, yeah. And we do a test drive experience.
We'll do a
right?
test drive experience,
Yeah.
but also I think a lot of people don't know
About it.
these things.
I mean, this is where my frustration comes, that I know customers have an anxiety, but when they drive the car, they are sold. I'm telling you, this is just about driving experience, right? The technology, the drivability, this is just incredible, right? Like we were talking how the F1 technology is coming into this, not just the AI piece or the software piece, it's also the aerodynamics, right? The cars are becoming lighter, suspensions are intelligent, and that is giving you an incredible experience.
Yeah,
right?
I've seen an intelligent suspension done by the Chinese. It was
Oh,
crazy.
yes, it is on our cars.
The
right?
way like they move around the potholes and all this stuff.
Yes, so-
That's crazy.
We need that here.
It would be the best seller here.
I'm telling Xlantex, for example, what I'm
Yes.
driving is intelligent suspension. So from the radar, it actually reads up front within a space of a diameter of 100 meters. That is there a pothole coming, and it adjusts accordingly, right? Yeah. So this is something which you want here right now, right? And imagine these cars have it. So this is how fast they have adapted those Formula One high-speed precision data points in their cars in Chinese, right?
Please reserve a car for me.
Done. Yeah.
That is fantastic, honestly.
Speaking also about F1, do you think like the Chinese cars can enter this world, this racing
The
world?
motorsports world.
Oh, they can.
Especially in F1.
F1, yeah. I see it in Formula E coming very soon. You will see these Chinese brands coming in fast. I think it's fundamentally driven by their R&D culture, right? And these Chinese, I have seen, they really take their R&D very seriously. I mean, for their scale, to put 5 to 7% of their annual budget in R&D, that's a lot. You're talking billions of dollars, right? So they are really investing it a lot. So as a hallmark or a testament to that which is already happening is in the off-road domain, right? I mean, you name any Chinese brand, by next year, mark my words, you will have an off-road vehicle in all of those 30 brands. That's
Wow.
done. Second, if you talk about hybrid and EVs, it's a matter of time when you will see those cars coming in from all of those dealerships. So again, it's also a matter of time when the Chinese will be participating in those circuits very soon. Yeah.
I actually am not, I wouldn't be surprised, bringing back the Chinese circuit, the Shanghai circuit.
Oh, yeah.
That was a big one. Having a Chinese driver on the grid, which was the first time it ever happened. And the fact that he's still involved in Formula One, he's the Ferrari reserve driver.
Yeah.
You could tell there is, it's paving the way slowly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Definitely, and I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
Yeah.
What's to stop them? We had Honda in it before.
Yes,
Honda
yes,
left, came
yeah.
back, and now they're switching teams. So
Correct.
who's to say now that there is a gap and there's a new team coming in and there's a team being sold right now that it won't like this all won't happen, and we won't actually see a Chinese team.
A team coming up. I mean, in global economic affairs, I think it's easier to say that wherever there's a gap, it's filled by Chinese, right?
Yeah.
So, and as you rightly pointed out, if there's a gap over there, I'm telling you, it's going to be filled by the Chinese, and they are already, their eyes set on this. R&D is going into it, and Chinese Grand Prix, etc. will be name of the game very soon, right? And they will be making those cars. Yeah.
But I mean, it's good, it's good when the Chinese are being the pioneer in this field. It pushes everyone else to also,
yes, exactly,
provide something better. And also these legacy cars you're talking about, you're bringing them back to where, they should be. Because the Chinese cars, they're like forcing them, okay, no, you're not worth this amount of money. You're worth this much.
And not just in terms of their pricing. I think they have really shaken up the industry, right? How the other Germans and Americans used to operate. Gone are those days where you can be complacent in your factory mode right, for 5 or 6 years. Similarly, even in Formula One, with this technology coming in, there cannot be any player or constructor who be complacent in their technology implementation.
Yeah,
At
right?
all.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think definitely the Chinese entrance into motorsports is going to change the game, because what we've learned is it's data driven, it's fast.
Yes. Yeah.
They are moving, they're hungry.
Yes, they are. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
The way that the world, the way that China was portrayed to the world was the manufacturer.
Yes.
But not the innovator. Even though they were innovators, they were kind of this low profile shark. Yeah. And now they're like, okay, we're here and we're going to show you guys everything we've been working on in the past 30, 40, 50 years, that China has evolved immensely. And to take words out of the mouth of the Chinese foreign minister when he said, we used to be villagers, and now we're leading the world.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think, again, there are a lot of myth busters, especially for people who actually visit China. I had a perception about China, it may look like that way. When you visit the country, the luxury experience in China is at a different level. The technology being used by people is at a different level, right?
This influencer who went to China, iSpeed?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He showed the American population, actually. That was the point of it. He showed them what is China, because we all they thought that China, because they think we live with camels and all. They think China, they only go get salt from the village, I don't know what, the farmers. He showed them how much technology they are way ahead.
Yes, yeah.
The drone shows, things like now we're seeing that China had 10 years ago, the towers, the transportation.
Absolutely, the drone shows at Shanghai Tower are a spectacle. Honestly,
I watched his videos, I was shocked. I'm like, okay, I know China's developed. I didn't know this much. So, so now with cars, we see the same.
Absolutely. I mean, it's good for us that we just recently had the Shanghai Motor Show last month, and we took with us at least 6 to 7 KOLs, influencers from Kuwait. Their feedback is just incredible. They said, Muneeb, had we not seen it, had we not experienced it, the scale we are talking about, we probably would have been just talking from a commercial standpoint. But now they really feel it when they talk about those Chinese cars, right? So that is a great association which we're having from people, right, on the Chinese cars. Yeah.
Honestly, I'm very excited.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to have you guys at WatchGP again. But before we wrap up, I have my rapid fire.
Let's go.
Start it off.
Favorite team?
How rapid it has to be.
It's okay.
Look, I tell you, Mercedes, they have their own a legacy, a leadership, command. So
you're a Lewis Hamilton fan?
Oh yeah, okay. So. Oh really? Okay.
2-1.
2-1.
I'm always outnumbered by the Hamilton fans. Okay, your most underrated driver?
Esteban. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you? Whom do you think?
Underrated?
Yeah.
Stroll.
Yeah.
That's an inside joke for the fans. They know it.
I'm just gonna sit this one out because I just always get bullied in my own podcast.
Because I know what's a driver. Who is it?
Who?
Stroll.
Lance Stroll. Listen, he's taking it as a hobby. His dad was rich enough to buy a team.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say his seat is there. That's it, guys.
That's what we're saying. He's underrated.
Yeah.
But what would your dream F1 track be to visit?
Look, within F1, I'm still a strong believer of the heritage or the legacy tracks. So in Japan, Suzuka would be my bet, because actually that is the real test of the real drivers. Right?
Yeah,
it
is.
I mean, it is a tough track, so that's where you actually differentiate who's the real guy, right? Yeah.
It's a very tough track actually,
Yes,
because
yeah,
you have
exactly.
the H shape and all.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like left, right.
Correct, yeah. So
up,
that
down,
would be, yeah.
Side to side,
side to side.
Yeah.
roller coaster, yani. It's
Roller coaster
Suzuka.
is good.
Yeah.
Roller coaster is Qiddiya, the new Saudi track that's coming up, the one in Riyadh.
In Riyadh, exactly. Yeah.
But so you said street circuit or classic circuit?
Classic, yeah. That's me. What about you?
It really depends.
It depends. Honestly, it's hard.
I love street circuits, but it has to be a good one.
Yeah.
You know, like Baku or Jeddah for me are definitely the top street circuits.
Oh, excellent. Exactly. I was gonna say Jeddah. Exactly.
Jeddah's a great time, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I would say street circuit, but not with these cars.
Yes.
You know, like
The
let's go
V10s.
back to Art and Senna days.
Yeah.
I would say Monaco.
Monaco.
It was insane.
Yes.
You know, the precision, the overtakes. It was challenging.
Yes.
Now they're just, يعني خلاص, you can watch quali.
Yeah.
You can go to bed. You don't need to watch the race.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
It's true,
just-
it's true.
Correct. It's part of
Like
it.
nothing's gonna change.
Yes, exactly. Yes. This is how the circuits are now in the street. And yes.
But
Correct,
Muneeb,
yeah.
thank you so much for
No,
joining
yeah,
us.
yeah.
We are so excited to have you at WatchGP.
No, thanks for actually inviting me. It's just an honor.
No.
Yeah.
We are
And
honored.
we hope to see your cars so we can
Of
show
course.
honestly so the audience can see how great these cars are.
Absolutely. I think it's a great idea which you mentioned, that probably have one session in the car so people
Yeah.
can actually see what the technology is.
Definitely.
Yeah,
And then they can see, like, maybe we can do,
We can do a podcast.
I have so many ideas.
Yeah, right.
And I think I need to visit the showroom. I think we need to visit the
Visit
showroom.
show-
We
yes.
can do a podcast, like a movable podcast. We can jump from
Yeah,
car
yeah.
to another.
I believe it. We have done this before with few people. I mean, work really well. I mean, that lends credibility to what we are
Exactly.
talking, right? Yeah. Because seeing is believing, right? So
Yeah.
actually you see what we are talking about, right?
Definitely. But we would love to have you back again.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes. Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for
Thank you.
watching. And we'll see you. Don't forget, WatchGP Sunday, May 18th. We have the Italian Grand Prix.
Yes. Iman, yes.
Excited.
Let's go.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye bye.